The ancient Egyptians were masters of quarrying and moving large blocks of stone. Scientists and historians are in agreement that huge amounts of stone were quarried, then moved amazing distances by hand, on sleds, and by boat to create the incredible monuments that still survive today. Some of the stones quarried were of monumental size. The unfinished obelisk near Aswan, if completed, would have measured around 41.75 meters long and would have weighed a whopping 1,090 tons. But perhaps more impressive is not the size of the stone blocks quarried, but the amount. It has been estimated the Great Pyramid of Khufu alone is made up of 2.3 million blocks weighing an incredible 6 million tons. While most stone was quarried locally, the granite stones in the pyramid were transported from Aswan, more than 900 kilometers away. But how was it cut and how was it extracted from the quarry pits and brought to the surface? While the tools and cutting methods used are still being debated, recent discoveries at the ancient alabaster quarry of Hatnub in the eastern desert offers evidence of how the stone was extracted. The research centers around a ramp which the team believes was used to transport the blocks out of the quarry. According to Dr. Roland in March from the University of Liverpool, the ramp is extremely well preserved and is leading out of the quarry. Along the sides of the ancient ramp there are 2 staircases lined with post holes. Ropes were probably tied onto these to drag the huge stone blocks. Yannis Gourdin from the French Institute for Oriental Archaeology in Cairo says a sled was used to carry each stone block, acting like a pulley system, helping workers move the blocks up steep slopes of 20 degrees or more. The 4,500-year-old ramp dates to the reign of Khufu, who built the Great Pyramid at Giza. Gourdin continues, as this system dates back at least to Khufu's reign, that means that during the time of Khufu, ancient Egyptians knew how to move huge blocks of stone using very steep slopes. Therefore, they could have used it for the construction of his pyramid. Another intriguing site is the unfinished pyramid of Zoyet el-Aran, dating to the 4th dynasty. The structure comprises a huge ramp cut into the bedrock leading to a deep rectangular pit. The ramp is at a comparable angle to Hatnub of 25 degrees, with a smooth center and staircases cut into the rock on the outer edges. Logically, the ramp was the only way for the vast amount of stone to have been removed from the pit, so therefore it is plausible a similar method to that proposed at Hatnub could have been used here at Zoyet el-Aran to move stone blocks to the surface. With these discoveries, we now have strong evidence that in the time of Khufu, the ancient Egyptians had the capability, and put into practice, a system of moving large blocks of stone up steep long ramps. The construction methods of the Great Pyramid are still at this point unknown. Many theories have been offered on how such a huge structure was made in antiquity, and many see finding a logical explanation as the holy grail of archaeology. It is commonly agreed that the pyramids were constructed using ramps to transport the stones to higher and higher courses until the structure was complete. Many different ramp theories have been put forward. Some experts have theorized that ancient Egyptians utilized straight ramps. Other experts believe that the pyramid builders utilized ramps that curved around the walls or ramping systems that were built inside the pyramids themselves. While all these experts are in agreement that a ramp system must have been used, each of the proposed designs have obvious flaws. A single long ramp would have to have been so vast in scale it would be as large in volume as the Great Pyramid itself. An external spiral ramp has no obvious means of support. Again, it would use vast amounts of extra material and would provide a very long route for the stones to reach the top of the pyramid. The same can be said for Jean-Pierre Houdin's groundbreaking internal ramp theory. Due to the shallow angle, the ramp would be massively long. The theory also offers an incredibly complex design, which would have been a very difficult feat to achieve. Occam's razor is a principle often attributed to a 14th century friar that says that if you have 2 competing ideas to explain the same phenomenon, you should prefer the simpler one. Ned Walker, an animated filmmaker from Sydney, Australia, has been studying the pyramids for 30 years. He believes he has come up with a simple solution for a construction method that can explain the long sought-after explanation for how the pyramids were constructed. He believes the evidence is right here, still intact within the Great Pyramid. Based on the recent discoveries of the ramp at Hatnub, as well as other evidence of steep ramps, Walker believes there is now evidence for a construction process using steep internal ramps of a simple design. He calls his new concept the internal channel theory. If a simple channel had been built into the design as the pyramid was constructed, it would have offered a way of bringing up the stones through the interior. Once the level had been completed, a strong ceiling could have been added to take the weight of the level to come above. Walker believes this still exists as the Grand Gallery with its vaulted corbelled ceiling. After this, another level was completed using the same internal channel system. This was repeated until the pyramid reached its full height. The Grand Gallery is a unique feature within the Great Pyramid of Khufu. An internal ramp with an angle of just over 26 degrees exists deep within the structure. If this ramp originally extended from the foot of the pyramid, it would have been a simple way to raise the blocks, layer by layer, to the upper courses of stone. Much like the ramp system used at Hatnub, the stones could have been hauled on sleds, up through the gallery to the next layer of construction. This method of using a steep internal channel for the transport of blocks could have been used in the construction of earlier pyramids as well. There is evidence of channels in the ruins of other ancient sites. The Scan Pyramids mission is an Egyptian international project. The Scan Pyramids team have detected a large void above the Grand Gallery. This could be evidence of another channel in an upper section. The builders cut channels into bedrock at Giza and elsewhere to form the subterranean chambers beneath the pyramid. It would be a simple jump in logic for them to use the same concept within the pyramid itself to create a channel to bring stones up, creating the incredible monument we see today. In conclusion, Walker believes he has discovered a simple explanation for the construction of the Great Pyramid. The Grand Gallery, so much like the quarry of Hatnub and the ramp at Pyramid of Zoyet El Arian, point to an internal ramp within the pyramid itself. There is much more to explore within this theory, but for now, do you believe part of the mystery has finally been solved?